Okay, pinch pot creature. I'm going to do this one that lays on its side and has a kind of a tongue and some teeth. Okay, I'm going to open up my clay. So I'm going to come down the width of 3 fingers, make a mark and a mark. That's the width of 3 fingers. I'm going to have the height of 3 fingers, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do the 3-finger measurement on the top also. 3 fingers wide, 3 fingers high. And then I'm going to cut this clay. If you have a wire cutter from your toolkit, that's real handy. You can always use a little bit of dental floss, or you can use your knife. Not quite as much fun as dental floss, but it'll do the trick. Okay, so I'm going to take out that piece of clay. There we go. All right. So I have a piece of clay. How would I compare the size of it? Well, here's my hand. Okay. Something like that. All right. Now I know I'm going to close up my bag. So what's my protocol? I always dip my hands in water. I touch all the surfaces of the clay, trying to keep the humidity going in that bag. I immediately close it and twist it. All right, now I'm going to make the best sphere I can. I'll start with a cube and then work my way up to sphere, or you can just start rolling into sphere if you want to. All right, just tap some corners. This is fun. I like this. It's kind of meditative. Don't get in a hurry here, guys. We're not going to make a pinch pot monster all in one sitting. This is going to take a couple of days. All right, so it's no worries. All right, this is not a very good sphere. If I start making my pinch pot monster, it's going to come out uneven. So I'm going to just take a little time with my hands, make it into the best sphere you can, because it actually ends up really helping you make a good pinch pot. Okay, when you have a pretty good sphere, try to find the middle. What looks like the middle, probably like right here. I'm going to take my thumb, put it into the center of the clay, just like we did before, up to the top joint. If you see cracks in your clay is crying out for some water. So I spin it around and my fingers are gently asking, where is it thicker? Don't do the rim, that goes all by itself. If you do the rim, it's going to get really thin. Okay, so I'm just feeling around in here, looking for thick spots, and when I find one, I just give it a little squeeze. This is going to take a while, okay? So when you feel like you're pretty even, you can start spinning it. I want you to work the whole time in your hands to keep your pot round. If you work here, you're going to get a bowl. You're going to get a flared out bowl with a flat bottom, okay? But we want it round, so stay in your hands the whole time. Okay. And I'm just spending some time. Thicker areas, I just pinch them a couple more times. Thinner areas, I leave those alone. Okay, good. I love fresh clay. So nice and easy to work with. It's just the best. All right. It's getting a little sticky on my hands, so I can dip one time in my clay, in my water, and that makes it go smooth. Yeah, that's nice. Okay, a little water over it. I was getting a couple cracks on the outside. All right, here we go. We're gonna keep going. Take your time, guys. Don't get in a hurry. If you've got to sit down a few times to do that, that's totally fine, okay? So, this should be relaxing. And if your pinch pot monster looks a little weird, or your creature, whatever you're making, isn't it okay? Isn't it okay if it looks a little weird? I mean, they are creatures, right? So we don't go for perfection, we go for progress. Progress, not perfection. Another dip of water, just making it smooth. my hand is keeping it round here. Because my hand is round when it is cupped. That's when they say you cup your hand. That cup is keeping that cup shape in your clay. All right. How thick do you want your clay? Let's look. I want your clay. How would I measure this properly? I want your clay. Here's my little lady hand. Can you guys see my pinky finger? My pinky fingernail? I'd like your clay to be about as thick as your pinky fingernail, okay? My pinky fingernail is about the same. Don't go much thinner than that, guys. Okay, so with your Pinch Pot Monster, sometimes you can make things like a soap dish. It could lay on your kitchen countertop and you could put your soap in there. You could do, if you want to do one that looks up, you can tap a little bottom on it like that. Up to you how you're going to design your little critter. So take your time and try to get those walls to be as smooth as they can. There you go. I'm just feeling around for bumps again. And maybe a little dip of water will help my hand move smoothly over the surface. Now Pinch Pots, they don't look like they came from Target, like perfectly smooth, okay? They look like a human hand touched them, and that's okay. They can be a little bit irregular. That's part of the charm. All right, so I'm pretty happy with this one. All right, I'm gonna put it upside down, grab a little water, smooth it out. Okay, good. Okay, you don't wanna grab too much water that it starts to get saggy and slimy. Sometimes if you grabbed a ton of water and kept just pouring it on there, it might turn like frosting, like ooey gooey. So it's just that game of going back and forth between dry and hydrated, dry and wet, dry and wet, dry and wet. Okay, so here I've got what I consider an acceptable form for my Pinch Pot Monster. If you have a lip that's going down like that, see how this lip is folding down? I can just use a tool to take that off a little bit. Okay. All right, so now I got my little monster going. Okay, I have been making my Pinch Pot and I noticed that my hands are really dirty. So I'm not gonna go wash them into the sink. I'm gonna go into my big water container. Okay, spend a little time. Get all those granules, those grains of earth and material, of sand. Get them off your hands first. You don't have to be perfect, but just get the chunks off, okay? We don't want those going down your kitchen drain. There you go. That's pretty good. All right. Now you can also clean up your tools in here, okay? If you want to get a little kitchen sponge, that's really handy. You can use your washcloth, okay? You're gonna clean off your tools in here. And then what you're gonna do is put this water off to the side for like an hour. And when you see that the clean water is on top and the clay water is on the bottom, then you're going to drain the clean water into your kitchen sink. And you are going to use a little paper towel or scrap paper to wipe all the ooey gooey clay into your trash can, okay? But it's gonna take like an hour or something for this to settle down. So wash your tools and wash your hands. Let this settle and you're good to go. Okay. Oh, wait. I forgot to put my lid back on the slip. That would be a mistake. Now I can turn this guy upside down if I want to. And this is gonna make it really, really smooth. I'm gently shaving off. And see, I'm gonna take that extra and put it in my water. Use a couple different directions. And you're gonna gently, gently be able to shave extra off. I have some students who spend a lot of time on this, and they can get their project looking incredibly smooth, okay? So just spend some time, get your project where you feel like you like how smooth it looks. Okay. We're gonna spin it, spin it, spin it. Don't worry, if you're, like right now my fingerprints are making sticky marks on it. That's okay. I'm gonna have lots of chances to smooth this. Okay, okay, good. I'm happy with it. All right, now I'm gonna put my little monster how I want him. I'm gonna look at his best way to be. A little more smoothing. And that's it for today. Gotta keep him moist, because remember, if I let him dry out and shrink, I can't put wet clay on him anymore, okay? So he's gotta stay moist. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to take a little bit of paper towel. I could also take a piece of newspaper. I could take junk mail, any paper thing. I'm gonna dip it in my water. I'm gonna squeeze out the water so it's not dripping all over the place. It's just moist. Take my hand, touch this whole thing with water lightly. I don't want to leave any mud puddles. Do not leave any mud puddles on your project because it will turn your project into gooey mud. Just a light water coating. Now ask yourself, is this paper towel dripping water or is it not dripping water? It's not dripping water. That's good. It's got the right amount of water in it. Gently, okay. I'm going to take a trash bag. If you want to get a new trash bag, and you have one, you can. If you have yesterday's project in your trash bag and you only have one trash bag, you can take yesterday's project out and probably start drying it, not in the sun, but just start drying it carefully on a shelf inside your house with no grocery bag on it. If you have an extra bag, you can use 2 bags and leave yesterday's project in a bag so it'll dry slower. It's up to you. But this definitely needs to be in a bag. Because we got to keep it wet, we're going to wrap it tight. I'm going to wrap it where it's twisted. It's twisted. That wires it shut. So tomorrow when I get it again, it'll still be wet and plastic in the plastic stage. It'll still be 100% of its wet size, and I'll be able to take other clay that is plastic stage and wet and join it on there. Okay, so this is how I store this. I'll put it gently somewhere where it's not going to get messed up. You can use a smaller piece of cardboard if you want to. Just put it somewhere where it's not going to get messed up. Don't put it outside. You can put it in your box, but you just have to be careful with it. All right, so that'll be ready to work on some more tomorrow. I notice that my hands are really dirty, so I'm not gonna go wash them into the sink. I'm gonna go into my big water container, get all those granules, those grains of earth and material, of sand. Get them off your hands first. You don't have to be perfect, but just get the chunks off, okay? We don't want those going down your kitchen drain. You're gonna clean off your tools in here. And then what you're going to do is put this water off to the side for like an hour. And when you see that the clean water is on top and the clay water is on the bottom, then you're going to drain the clean water into your kitchen sink. And you are going to use a little paper towel or scrap paper to wipe all the ooey gooey clay into your trash can, okay? But it's gonna take like an hour or something for this to settle down. So wash your tools and wash your hands. Let this settle and you're good to go. Okay. Oh, wait. I forgot to put my lid back on the slip. That would be a mistake.